It's still real to me, damn it! A little bit of the bubbly.
So I've been here 8.5 for my son. I told you when I first got here, I keep looking each and every day further and further up that ladder, and things getting better and better. For the old nasty dog.
All right. Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey. We are the Mark Out Movie Podcasters. Oh, leaving it to me. Oh.
Yeah.
It
was.
Yeah. Ah!
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Okay. In today's episode, before we get into our actual fan request, which is mixed nuts.
That was my reaction to someone returning.
Oh, Lord. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, before we get to that, we're going to talk briefly about, we'll do our segment called Wrestling with the Marks. We're going to talk about one thing in particular. So last Sunday was Survivor Series War Games. Well, Survivor Series is it's a WWE pay-per-view that has been going on since, I'd say, it started late 80s, right?
87, 88, somewhere around there.
And it's been for a long time, it's one of my favorite pay-per-views of that WWE put on the event. Number one for me is always going to be the Royal Rumble, and then I would say it would be WrestleMania and then Survivor Series. No, SummerSlam and then Survivor Series. That was kind of like like those are my top four, I guess. But the other side of things, Dusty Rhodes created the War Games for WCW. When WWE bought WCW, then it opened up this new thing that we have here, which is essentially Survivor Series mixed with War Games, which I liked. I liked it. Is this the second year they did it this way, or what?
At Survivor Series, yes. They brought it back for NXT. I don't know how many times, but I remember Pat McAfee was in it. But yeah, I mean, this is the first time I actually watched it though. Their presentation of War Games. I like the men's side better. I don't know. I just couldn't get into the women's match. I was expecting Bayley to turn, but I guess they're gonna wait for WrestleMania. Yeah. I mean, well, not WrestleMania, but the road to WrestleMania for that turn. I mean,
I like women's. I thought it was interesting. I thought what I liked about it was now I can't really remember, who I was in it. I like Asuka for sure. I don't think they're using Asuka too well.
They've never used her well in the main roster.
Yeah.
She's like Shinsuke Nakamura, so much better on NXT than the main roster. It's sad.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, there was nobody that like the women's. I thought it was fun. I'm not a big mark for Charlotte Flair. But
their segment to me was very awkward. The hug, it was just very awkward, and I didn't like it. But again, I don't remember. No, I can't even think of her. Bianca Belair was in the match as well.
Yeah.
And the other person, I don't know who it is. So,
Shotzi or
yeah, something like that. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm not familiar with a lot of the new ones. But the main thing that I want to talk about from there is the men's War Games match, which we saw returning Randy Orton,
Yeah,
who looked really good for his time back. You know, he looks huge.
he's
Hopefully,
huge.
hopefully it's just him putting in the work. Not like I don't think I think they are so strict with the performance enhancement that I believe that it's just him putting in the work and getting back into. And he looked like he was having fun out there.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
yeah,
agree.
I like that. I thought that I thought Jay did a good job. I know you're not huge on Damien Priest, but I
Not
like
not
Damien.
yet.
Uh,
He's grown on me from where he was when he was wrestling Bad Bunny. Because that
yeah,
was really the first time I had really paid attention to him. He's grown on me since then, but as far as a top guy, I can't see it yet.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
but you know he's got a long time to go before he can
yeah.
get with everybody they got on the roster. You know they can work
Like
with him.
I do like. I did think I like Dominic Mysterio. I think he is. He's shaping up to be a really great heel, and
Yeah,
I enjoy his work. I think he's
he
growing. He's growing a lot.
yeah I've told Dawson this, like he hates him. I'm saying he is the second coming of Eddie Guerrero as a character. And he's getting better in the ring too. He's just grown so much as a character. I see him being a major star
Hmm.
after. I think that he's going to turn face eventually. He's going to blow up. I see
Yeah,
that coming from him. I love him though. I mean, it's shocking because he annoyed me so much when he was with Ray.
yeah.
That heel turn has been it's just been gold for him.
And I know this is going to be controversial. I've never been. I've never been a Seth Rollins guy. Never liked
Really,
him. I never liked him. I've always thought. I always thought he was reckless in the ring. He's injured so
I
many people.
I agree
Uh,
with that. He is reckless.
and I just never been a top. I've never been a huge mark by of his. I thought that he wasn't the one I was looking at in the ring like, oh man, I can't wait to see more that he does. Uh, on the faces side, I would say the one that stood out the most to me was who was in it? Who's for the
We
faces?
had Cody. You had Jay, Seth, Orton. Who was the other guy? Who was the other guy?
Who was
Oh,
the fifth?
Sammy.
Sami Zayn. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've always think Sammy's grown. Sammy's a top guy.
yeah.
Uh, and or but I think that Cody shined well. But Orton got a huge pop, and
Mhm.
and it was man. He came in the ring. I don't. I guess they had him working limited hours to protect him to kind of grease him back into it, which is fine. But I thought that he came out. He looked good. He hit all the marks. He he just like I said, it looked like he was having a ball. So I really enjoyed him.
Yeah. I thought he did good in the match. As you said, he hit all his spots. Looked like he was having fun, which is very important. Um, I think the guy I wanted to see more was actually Drew McIntyre. Like, I don't storyline wise, it's fine, but I want to see him and Jay have a match on a pay per view, and I don't know when that's going to happen. Just them two. I don't know if it's going to happen, but
I see that they were pushed. Like they were pushed. I think Jay has the potential. I want to see Jay work. Let's see. I want to see Jay work. Maybe like him and Drew will have to have that spot. But I think that I like to see Dre and Owens go home, like finish their thing somehow, and maybe unite, or even have. We don't need Jay to go heel because Jimmy's heel, so we need Jay
yeah,
to kind of work the baby because Jay's over. Jay's over.
Yeah, he's over. And at this point, I'd rather see Jay and Drew at WrestleMania over Jay and Jimmy.
I agree.
I'm over that. Yeah, I think it doesn't need to happen. It should have happened sooner. But we're going to get Jay and Jimmy, but I'd rather see Drew and Jay.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna say this: whenever you have a brother versus brother match, all of them are gonna pale in comparison to Owen and Brett. That is I think the definitive brother versus brother match in the history of pro wrestling, and so it's hard to top that. And second to that would be brother-in-law versus brother-in-law, which would be Brett and Bulldog. But yeah, I can't think of any other brothers versus brothers I thought was like oh man, this is the best thing.
I mean, I know they weren't actually brothers, but I think the first match between Undertaker and Kane was phenomenal.
I give you that.
They're not actually brothers, but storyline wise,
the kayfabe brothers, yeah.
Yeah, but actual brothers, I mean, Matt and Jeff was disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I've seen it, it's been disappointing. I can't really think of any. Really, I can't think of any that's been really good except for Owen and Brett, actual brothers. I mean,
yeah. But after the match, after the finish, they got us because they started rolling the little copyright thing, and next thing you know, told the personality strike. Punk comes out, Punk returns, and people know that Seth was livid and throwing a fit, which I think it's kayfabe. I think it's a work.
Oh, it is, no doubt.
Yeah, it just it looks good. People talking about, oh my gosh, he's blowing up, he's mad, but no, it's a work because Punk and Rollins would do money, but I don't think that it would do as much money as you mentioned. Combination, I think that would be better. Who was it?
Oh, Roman. Yeah, I was just listening to the Busted Open podcast the other night, and Tommy Dreamer said they need to strike while the iron is hot. You don't need to wait for Roman and Punk. The story is there with Paul Heyman. It just writes itself. Plus the shots that Roman took at Punk when he went to AEW. He said, yeah, he's really going to he's press the needle or something. He's going to really make a difference. And the fact is, he did make a difference because you look at the attendance when Punk was there and you look at it without him, it's really sad.
Yeah.
And I'm not hating on AEW. I hope they succeed. But since he left, the audience has left. Live audience, I mean, it's probably about the same as far as who watches, but the live audience, it's sad. It's sad. But I agree that Punk and Roman is the better story, but I think the better match is Rollins and Punk. But I just feel that could be Brett and Shawn 2.0.
Yeah, well, that could be with but in this we need a Rollins heel turn. We can't have them both be baby at the end. And that will give Seth more heat and actually make because I'm gonna say Austin and Brett. The beauty that was that match was Brett came in as the baby, Austin came in as the heel, and in that match something happened where at the end of the match Austin was the face and Brett was the heel. It was beautiful. It was like beautiful storytelling. And Austin didn't submit. Austin just passed out.
Yeah.
From the bloodline.
I don't think Rollins has to turn necessarily before the match, but I think the crowd.
No, I think during the match, I think it'll be stronger.
Yeah,
I think like a low blow kick or something that's just straight heel. Something that heel would,
I mean, they already started. He got a mixed reaction when he brought up Punk on Raw, He's like, go ahead, chant for him, chant for the hypocrite. He said he wasn't gonna waste any more time on him, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be so good.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
there is a new report out though, and
Okay.
I hope it doesn't happen, but they're trying to get Stone Cold for Punk, and I hope it doesn't happen.
No.
I wanted to see it 10 years ago. I loved Austin coming back and facing Owens, but I didn't think he looked great in the match itself.
Yeah. I think Austin's at the point, if he does, I think at this point, someone like Austin, if you come out and actually doing a match where you actually gonna have to get pinned or pin someone, you're better off pushing the younger guy to come in and make him look strong.
Yeah.
Like for what it's worth, I know people hated it, but Taker doing business for Brock Lesnar make Brock look even more powerful. And so, if you bring someone like Austin in, Austin's either going to come in to beat up someone that is getting on people's nerves. Like Austin coming in to beat up Logan Paul, Jake Paul, whichever Paul that is.
Logan.
Beat up Logan. That'd be good to see him beat him up and just give him the business. But if you're gonna have him wrestle, it has to be like what they did with Kevin Owens, because he missed some marks, but he was well protected in
he was well protected.
how they did it. But you can't think he's gonna go. He's now 60-something years old.
I think.
Yeah,
Punk's 45.
Yeah, I don't think you. Now Punk will do business. Punk will work, but I don't know if Punk would, like, the one person I know that can come in and work an Austin match and make Austin look good and will make and do good would be Shawn Michaels. He's the only person I think that can come in to make, but it would make no sense. But Shawn is that type of worker that he will literally make anyone look like $1 million.
I just don't think it makes sense for Punk in Austin right now. Storyline, Punk's returned after 10 years. He's going to have all kinds of momentum. I just don't think it makes sense for him in Austin.
In LA, because the similarities between the two, or LA and The Rock, similarities between the two. Something like that makes sense. Or LA and Cena, that makes sense. But I don't know.
But yeah,
we're still on the road to WrestleMania. So.
Just beginning, yeah. But how'd you feel? I mean, I know you've kind of been in between. I've never left CM Punk's side. I've always supported him, but you kind of were on the fence. How'd you feel about him returning?
I don't like how he left AEW, but also I think that they should have held was it Jake Perry?
Jack, yeah.
Jake Perry, I don't know his name. But I think that they should hold him a little bit more accountable as well. Because Punk is an old school wrestler. He's not old school. He's not like Taker. Taker is like a general. Taker's boss. He's the boss.
But for today, he's old school.
Yeah. But for someone that has paid their dues and been in the business, I think that someone young like Perry coming in there, you gotta pay your dues, man. You gotta shake hands. You gotta show respect,
and that's the problem over there in AEW. A lot of those younger guys, they don't want to. They don't want to take any advice from the older talent. They just want to do what they want to do, and that's kind of why they're in the situation they're in. And I'm looking at the Young Bucks. I'm looking at Hangman Adam Page, who I really like, but he doesn't want advice from anybody.
What's going to have to happen, and then we can get on to what's going to have to happen there is, like, I like you said, I look for MJF to eventually leave and go to WWE. Maybe
if he's smart, he'll want out.
Then I think I wouldn't want Buck. I would still probably want Omega, but I don't think Omega is as good as they put him out to be. Uh, honestly. But he'll draw. He'll draw. Um, I think that Will Ospreay maybe would be good.
Yeah, he just
But
signed with AEW, so
yeah,
it'd be
but
a while.
the biggest catch that they can get is MJF. MJF.
Yeah,
If they can get him, then that he can come in. I can see him immediately trying to feud with Miz. Miz gonna put him over. Miz gonna make him look like money, or something like that, and then just kind of get him in there to get him
yeah,
climbing up. Yeah, but yeah, he needs to get out of there because AEW's thinking. I hate to say what it is.
yeah. The best thing
I,
about them
I
is probably
I see,
Christian.
yeah, I see AEW eventually getting bought out by what is it? Not Ring of Honor, but Nonstop TNA
TNA,
Impact. Yeah,
really?
or something happening there. You know, because I don't know, they're leaning on each other. I don't know if anything's gonna
Well, they
help.
should. I think all the independents should lean on each other like they used to do in the old days. You know, work with each other, make it better, get more people involved. I mean, but I don't know. AEW's just kind of fallen, and I hate it. I do. I felt like it was going to happen when Punk got fired. Okay, they're going to kind of fall now, but I
Well,
I don't know. I'm just glad to see him back home.
yeah, me too. I'm glad he's back there. Well, today's episode is a fan request. Andrea Ford requested us to do mixed nuts. The event's focused around a crisis hotline business on one of the crazy nights during the Christmas holidays. Came out in 1994, starring Steve Martin, Madeline Kahn, Robert Klein, Anthony LaPaglia, I can never say his name, Juliette Lewis, uh, Rob Reiner's in it, a very young Adam Sandler,
Yes,
and a very feminine Lee Schreiber. So, and
that's
then Rita Wilson, also Parker Posey, Jon Stewart, and then if you blink and you miss it, Haley Joe Osment is also in this movie.
is he?
Yeah, he's the little boy that says, "Mom, look, Santa," or whatever, and then you know, yeah, Felix is on the roof. That kid was Haley Joe Osment.
Didn't pick that up.
Yep. Yeah. So this is also Victor Garber's in this movie as well. But anyway, he played in Legends of Tomorrow DC show. But anyway, Mixed Nuts. It starts off with this man, Steve Martin's character, Philip, who is he runs a nonprofit, which is a crisis center where he wants to help people. His motto is like, no one should be sad and alone.
Yeah.
Stay like they don't want you to remain sad and alone, which is a noble job that they have. They try to essentially prevent people from taking their lives.
Yeah.
Which is December is like what they call winter blues, or what do you call it, seasonal depression. So, but yeah, it's a thing.
Apparently, yeah. My ex used to say I was always depressed around Christmas. So, last 3 years, though, I've been very happy. I don't know.
But speaking of exes, first thing that Steve Martin encounters is as he's biking to work is a squabble between a Santa Claus and two roller skaters played by Anthony, and there will be Parker Posey, who I know most famously from Scream 3. That's where I'm going to immediately go to with Parker Posey. And Jon Stewart, who is freaking Jon Stewart. But yeah, I didn't realize it was him until later on in the movie. But yeah, they're arguing over damaged Christmas tree, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus screams "Merry Christmas" in his face and storms off. And I said Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I'm sorry, Julia Louis.
Juliette
Not
Lewis, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, this is her. This is when she was kind of big at the time, like the mid '90s.
yeah, fresh off of Christmas Vacation, right? Or
Yeah,
fresh, yeah, fresh
and
off. Right?
Cape Fear and From Dusk Till Dawn.
Hmm.
Yeah, those type of movies. Yeah. So I was actually pretty happy to see her because I always thought she was kind of the more I don't know. She reminded me of Winona Ryder, but I don't know the word. It just
Crazier. Like she plays the.
yeah,
She always plays the wild child of
yeah.
the family. In most things. Like I think about this is her second time playing with being with Steve Martin. I think it was in Parenthood together, where she was like the daughter of uh, Steve Martin's sister, uh, and and she's the one that was married to like or dating Keanu Reeves in that movie. Do you remember that movie, Parenthood?
Vaguely. I remember John Ritter was in that. Not John Ritter, but Rick Moranis. I don't know why I said John Ritter. But yeah, I didn't like him in it. And it was disappointing because he wasn't good old Rick. But I vaguely remember it. I got this movie in Parenthood confused with Sandler's character. I thought Sandler was in Parenthood and Keanu was in this one. And so
Yeah.
I got it confused. I'm not the biggest Parenthood fan though. But
I've always loved that movie. Parenthood's been one of it's always been one of those movies that like I don't know, it's one of those movies it's like one of those movies that I've seen and that I'm like I've seen so many times so I can but then every time I see it I see something new or I know something different.
yeah,
Those old fashioned like '90s comedy movies that is very satirical. When they looked at like Parenthood and life, and then at that point I guess 30 for Steve.
30.
Yeah, I guess
Was he 30?
I think his Parenthood. I think his characters. I say that Steve has been forever
Gray.
gray.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's always
except in this movie he's not gray. His hair is dyed. So
yeah, he's always looked old or older. In every movie I've seen him in, he's never looked really young. Not, I mean, even in The Jerk, he didn't look young. But yeah, I mean, I related to his character though because he's really having a bad day.
and he has a small staff, Madeline Kahn and Rita Wilson, Tom Hanks' wife. So he has a very small staff there working, and and he just got a eviction notice by Gary Shandling. Gary Shandling's in this movie. You know who Gary Shandling is?
Yes, Larry Sanders.
Yeah, yep. There you go. He's in this movie. It's like an all-star cast, seriously. And I think it was like a flop, but it's it had a nice cast, and I thought it had really nice humor as well. And there's little clues to who he is by the questions that he asked, and I didn't catch that. The way he asked, "Oh, do you ever get anybody that chews glass?" Huh? Shame they got chew glass. Have you ever got anyone that did this? Like morbid things, and he's like, they not even think about it because he's like, "What do you mean that we're evicted?" He's thinking about being evicted, and he's asking these like morbid questions. And then he's also undoing the light bulbs to, I guess, save energy. To shut down the bill. He's like a bad landlord. He's a slumlord.
Of course, he's a serial killer.
Brain full.
That's what I do. I spoil 30-something-year-old movies. I mean, come on. Oh, it's not 30 yet. It'll be 30 next year. Hey, we're close enough, though, right?
Yeah,
I do. Come on, if you haven't seen it by now, you're not gonna watch it. Let's
This
be
is
real.
true. This is true. But yeah, and then on top of this eviction notice, he calls his girlfriend, his fiance, I guess, to see about maybe their bank can give them a loan of like $5,000, small loan, so he can kind of
Mhm.
pay them, keep the lights on. And she's like, no, and also we're breaking up
Yeah.
because I'm dating my therapist, you know. And so yeah, so his
Like I
day
said,
just
I can relate to Steve Martin's character. I'm gonna leave that alone.
when the crap hit the fan, it hit the fan fast.
It
And
does.
then and
It
then
does.
I want to point out the humor and the brilliance that was Madeline Kahn. What did you think about her in this movie as Mrs. Mushnick?
Okay. For a second, I had to think of who she was. I'm not really familiar with her work. I mean, she was fine for me. She had a stick up her butt throughout the whole film, and I tell you, I like the guy that she ends up with, the dog guy who walks his
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
She needed that though, man. She needed it so bad, and
Robert Klein. He's
yeah,
also a stand-up comic. Yeah,
it made her such a more Christmassy person afterwards. I was happy
yeah,
to see that.
yeah. What I love about Madeline is she's so good at just her beat and the way that she uh, like knows when. Like Steve Martin's really good at this too, but knows when to lean into comedy and not to. You know, when to like how to like when the obscene man called on the phone,
Mhm.
she was like answering. Oh, you're gonna do what? Oh, okay. Well, I'm a woman, and she's like talking, but there's part of her deep down wants to hear what he had to say next. You know, and but when he hangs up on her, she's like she's kind of disappointed that he hung up. But yeah, it's just like I don't know. I like that man. But I think the big standout in this movie, well, Steve Martin. Steve Martin, the one that Rita Wilson was more annoying.
Really?
Uh,
You
yeah,
thought she
in
was
this, yeah, I thought she was kind of annoying in the sense of, like she played maybe it's a character though. She's like dopey, not dopey, but like kind of she had an airhead type quality to it.
You don't like airheads, huh?
And that's, well, the biggest airhead in this movie was Louie, aka Adam Sandler.
Of
Uh,
course.
but but his like watching this movie, I assume Steve Nim or the whoever that cast him in this movie, he's at this point in '94, he's on SNL. I believe he's on SNL at that
Yeah.
point. And this is before uh uh
Around
this
the same time he did airheads, I think.
this is probably yeah, around Airheads, but before he really hit his stride with Billy Madison
Yeah.
in the lifeboat or life whatever the
Overboard.
movie, Overboard, yeah, or
I've never
whatever.
seen it. Never seen it though. So
Neither, but I know that it just like I've never seen it. But my first movie of his was Billy Madison. Other than Airheads, right? Other than
yeah.
Airheads. But I was there for Brandon at the time. I didn't know Steve. I didn't know Adam. I was there for Brandon. But I was glad. Now I know it. I have to revisit it because I love both of them. I love all three of those. But but for this part of Adam Sandler's career, so in here I see him. He's testing it out, and I believe somebody seen this and said this guy is funny. Let's see where we can go somewhere with this guy because he just stole it, man. In my opinion.
Yeah, I I had so much fun. I started recording him singing. So, and I wasn't feeling the movie. I wasn't in a good mood that day. So that's why I said related to Steve Martin because I was not in a good mood that day. But he pops in on screen. He starts singing. He lifted my spirits. He put me in a good mood, and I really had a really good time with the movie. But yeah, I love when he walks in, he starts singing. He's he can't hear. What is her name? Madeline.
Yeah.
Okay, can't hear
Madeline
her
Mrs. Mushnick.
because she's stuck in the elevator. He's having a time of his life singing to himself.
And her ad lib. So I think there's ad lib her with the little toy banging it, doing the beats and stuff and rapping. They was just ad lib. That's her just coming up with stuff off the top of her head. That's what I like about her. But yeah. But before we meet Sandler when he comes in a little bit later, Steve gives his number. Steve, this is the worst suicide prevention hotline ever. By the way, they hung up on people accidentally. Rita Wilson's character was like, click it, and the guy was like, you hear pop, and then but what's funny is Steve's like, well, if it's an emergency, they'll call back. And waited, and that silence was so funny, just like, and then him like listening, like, okay, all right, no, because like, just, oh man, that's what's so. Steve Martin doesn't get his flowers enough as far as his film.
He really doesn't. I'm glad we've revisited some Steve Martin films this year, though. I mean, I think it's like 2, but still, it's more than he's ever gotten on the podcast. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he's great. And I mean, I revisited a few more. I watched the Father of the Bride films earlier this year, and I just, man, and I don't watch his show he does with Martin Short. I don't even know if that's like a scripted show or whatever it is, but I've never seen it.
Murder in the only Murder in the Apartment. I don't know. I'm not huge. I will watch it, but I'm not huge on Martin Short, so I kind of. That's why I don't watch it. I will watch it for Steve, but I don't really want Martin.
Yeah.
No offense. It's just I've never been a Martin Short guy.
Me either. But like watching some of his stuff this year, including this film, made me really want to.
Thank you, Andrea. Murders in the Building.
Only Murders, yep. And just made me want to see more of Steve. Because, I mean, he is getting up there in age, and I got to pick some more of his stuff next year at some point. Because I like The Jerk. I really want to pick The Jerk at some point next year. But I don't know. He brings a smile to my face when I watch him. And if I would compare him to anybody, and he's much better, I think it's Ben Stiller. You know, he doesn't have to be outrageous with his comedy. Yeah. He's better than Ben. I feel bad for comparing to Ben because Ben's not in his league, in my opinion, but
yeah, Ben's not in his league. If anyone, like not even Steve Carell, like I can't think of no one that I would think that would be like the next Steve Martin. Honestly, because Steve comes in that class of guys like Steve, Chevy, Bill, Eddie, just like that class of actors. And then you had Will later on, Will and all that. But the thing is, that class of people like Will Ferrell, Chris Farley, Will's later, but Chris Farley, Adam, Dana, David Spade, they are a little bit more animated when it comes to like how they get their laughs. Like with Steve, he can just give a look and it's hilarious, or he can do something like there's just like that one scene in the movie when Liv Schreiber, which another Scream alumni is in this movie, Liv Cotton Weary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I love him in this movie. Actually, I'm a big fan of him in this.
He's great. He plays totally gets to who he is as like you ever see him in movies and stuff. But he does such a convincing job as that character and such a likable character. But when him and Steve are sitting on the couch and the lights go off and the lights come back on, he's like really close to him. The way that Steve kind of reacts and responds, and like when he's trying to get his jacket, he says, "So you'll dance with me?" And he just drops his coat, like just like it's Steve, just funny, just funny.
Yeah, he doesn't have to say anything. his reactions, get the laugh.
She says that I have to admit I'm not a Martin Short fan, but I love him in that series. I have to see that series. I will eventually watch it. I heard it's a really good series. But
Is it a scripted series though, or is it like?
Is it?
I feel like I don't know. Did they do something like a few years ago where it's kind of like a talk show, or it's like no, not a talk show, but like a skit show?
Yeah. You know what lost me to Martin Short? It was Clifford. Clifford. It was that movie Clifford. Like I even liked him in that as that one little character. He is like it's almost like a Pee Wee Herman type of character he played back in the day, with the big long hair swooping up and the pants pulled up. And I forget his name. I'm seeing him, but
That reminds me of Pat, but I don't know.
no, Pat. Oh, I hated Pat.
I've never
But
seen Pat, but I remember the bots set of Pat.
yeah,
It looked like Urkel, but white.
yeah. But I do want to mention my buddy. He ain't my buddy in real life, but Rob Reiner is in this movie. Rob, this felt like a Rob Reiner movie, like he wrote and directed, and I always thought he did, but no, he didn't. He wasn't even a writer on it, but it felt like one of his type of movies.
Yeah.
But Rob Reiner, him being in this movie, I loved it because Rob Reiner is one of those actors that I just love when he pops up and stuff. He's a phenomenal director, but I enjoy him popping up and stuff as well. So, what's your feelings on Rob?
I think Rob's. I haven't seen that many of his films necessarily, but I always enjoy him when he pops up in movies. I remember him in this Sleepless in Seattle. Didn't he do Ed TV?
I think he did.
Okay, I know he's in Ed TV. I didn't know if he directed it or not. Like I can't think of a movie he's directed. I've probably seen it. I've probably seen a lot of them. I can't think of them. But I like him. He's got a good presence on film.
His newest movie that he directed is Albert Brooks' Defending My Life. I think it's on Max. He directed Stand By Me. I guess his most famous film.
Yeah, okay, that one. Yeah, I've seen many times.
And then Shakinal LBJ, being Charlie, The Magic of Bill Al, I've never seen that. Bucket List, so that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Rumor Has It.
I haven't seen that. Kevin Costner.
Yeah, Story of Us.
With the Story of Us, Bruce and Michelle.
Yeah, he did Misery, which is pretty classic.
I've seen more.
When Harry Met Sally, Princess Bride.
All right, he's solid. He's solid.
Yeah, he's a heavyweight, man, but he doesn't get the love. But yeah, but he's also he's a really good character actor too.
Yeah.
But yeah, but no, what I loved about this movie, man, is really the term mixed nuts comes from how Steve Martin's dad died. He got killed by a truck carrying mixed nuts. But this movie in itself is an apartment full of mixed nuts. Whether it's the Lee Schreiber, who's I'd say transgender, I guess you would say.
Yes.
And you have Rita Wilson's character is lonely. She's lonely, but she doesn't outwardly say I'm lonely. But she is lonely, and all that she has is this job and her boss. That's who she really has, just like everybody in here is mixed nuts, but together they kind of create this weird family. And I liked it, man. I liked it.
Yeah. I liked it much better than I did the first time I saw it. Which, I mean, it's not an interesting story behind that, but I mean, it was just, I don't know. Maybe it was with who I was with when I saw it and just didn't really pay attention. I don't know, but I had a really good time watching it this time. I was more invested in the story, the characters. I thought all of them brought it, they were all compelling. They all were given time, and it's such in a Steve Martin movie, you wouldn't think everybody's going to be given enough time to shine, and I thought they all were. Even Sandler, it's limited, but he shines in every scene he's in, and I love him with Schreiber.
Sandler had to be, I don't know, he probably had to be about 19, 20, maybe 20, 21 in this movie.
Yeah, he was a baby.
Yeah, it was like, just seeing him, Sandler also. I think Sandler his first acting spot. I think he was actually on the Cosby Show. To be honest with you, I think he pops up as one of Theo's friends. If I hope I'm not misremembering that. I think he is. Um,
I have no idea. I haven't seen the Cosby all the way through.
yeah, I want to say, but yeah, Cosby Show. I was right. I killed it. He's Smitty. He's Smitty on the Cosby Show. For 4 episodes. For 4 episodes. And then Going Overboard was his next one. But yeah, it wasn't. He's in Coneheads as well. I didn't even remember him in that.
I remember Farley in that. I don't remember him in that though.
But
it doesn't shock me. SNL movie.
He did Airhead the same year this movie came out.
Yeah.
So 1994.
I thought that was the case.
And then in '95 we got Billy Madison, and it's Off to the Races.
Oh.
It's Off to the Races at that point.
Yeah, so, I would say him and Jim, once they hit that first big movie, their career was made.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot of guys have that success like that and can sustain it. And I think they both done a really good job of lasting.
You know what? I give the director credit as well. Is the director probably cast Adam in this movie, and just know who. Like, I don't know if he's doing the ukulele bit on Saturday Night Live at that point, but just knew of him maybe, and was like, instead of just like, because his character didn't feel like someone wrote him that way. It feels like, Adam, be yourself, do you.
Yeah.
And that's what you got is Adam being early Adam Sandler. Like, cause that's the type of character he was in his early stuff. He was that type of guy. It wasn't until Happy Gilmore where you was like, oh, he's not this talking like this, and, because that's the type of character he played,
mm-hmm.
for the most part, until like Happy Gilmore, and then you're like, oh, he can do other facets to this guy, which, yeah, that's why he's one of the greats, honestly. He is. He's one of the greats. If people don't give him his props, man, they're wrong.
I know a few people that hate him, think he's the worst actor of all time, and people got their own opinions. But
I think he got range, man. I think that, like, what it is, I think people want to put him in a box.
Yeah, man, they do. They want to put all comedians in a box.
You've been the poop guy. You've been the the weird voice guy for a long time. Jim Carrey, you've been the butt talking guy. You've been the face guy.
Mm-hmm.
Be that guy. But then, like, they do Number 23, or they do
The Truman Show.
The Truman Show, or something to show that, no, I can actually do more things. And people's like, I want to see that guy. But, let these guys be that. Then, then you have other guys that are serious actors that say, hey, let me do a comedic thing. Like, I would have never thought before seeing Analyze This that Robert De Niro would do a comedy. I wouldn't have thought that. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like this gangster type of actor guy, and then
he's very intense.
But it's so funny. It's just like, but that's him. But that's another guy that nobody shows love to, Billy Crystal. But it's just him and Billy being magic. So.
Yeah, I would say that had a lot to do with Billy, the chemistry they had, and they worked better than Billy and Robin did. That that has a lot to do with the movie itself too. Even though I do enjoy Father's Day, but
yeah, you can't have Billy and Robin, and they had him, they had them together. You know what I'm saying, although they were great friends and they did good on like live stand up type of stuff with the with Whoopi back in the day. You can't really cast them and it be what you want it to be because Robin, I don't know, they're great, but them together is not as good on film as something else. You know what I'm saying? Like Robin's one of those guys that he shines the best by himself in films, in my opinion, when he's like doing his thing.
Well, I mean,
there's a situation where Robin.
You talking about comedy, or you talking about overall?
Well, no, not like in comedy. I would say not in overall because
I mean,
because he's like, but Robin's also had that darker side to him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but in film as well.
When I think of his film career, though, and just comedy, straight up comedy, I'm not even going to include Aladdin. That's just live action. I'll go with live action. The only one that I really can think of that I think is just a classic is Mrs. Doubtfire. As far as his comedies go, I'm not saying he didn't make any other good comedy films, but classics.
But was he working off like where is like?
No, that was all him. I mean,
Crystal works when Crystal works, but he has to be the satirical one in the relationship. He has to be the quippy one in the relationship if he's doing something. The dry humor. That's what makes City Slickers work because that's who he was the character in that movie.
I would have actually loved to have seen Robin in City Slickers. I don't know who I would take out because those three were gold. Like they were. You definitely don't take out Jack because he's gold as well. But I don't know. Not in the first City Slickers. I can't really see him being a character in there. Now for the sequel, seeing that, I don't know, he just doesn't fit unless you're gonna play like some type of prospector type of guy. Then that'd be it. Because they would lean into a comedy. But like, I don't know. I think like Daniel was good in it. But Bruno was great in it.
Yeah. But back to old Mixed Nuts. So kind of find out, as Brandon says, Gary Shandling was the serial killer. That the seaside strangler or something like that.
Yeah.
And they accidentally killed him, and they wrapped him in the tree, and it looked like they're going to jail, but there's a reward for killing him, and so the building is saved. Their financial problems is over, and at the end of the movie, Felix got to paint his art on the wall of the building.
Which we didn't talk about that couple. But
what do you think about Anthony I can't think of things that he's in other than Empire Records and So I Married an Ex-Murderer.
I want to say he was in that. I don't know if it's Law and Order or he did some kind of show. I see him as a cop mostly in things I've seen. Serious roles. I've seen him in serious roles. So I never really got to see him much in comedy, but I really loved him in this, and I love him and Juliette Lewis in this. Although there seems to be an age gap there.
Yeah, I would say that they would have. Honestly, this is what I'm going to say. This what they should have did, and I bet you they couldn't do it. I bet you this is what they wanted. They probably wanted Keanu for that role. But Keanu was busy with
Scream. I'm not Scream. Why am I saying Scream? Speed.
Was it Speed on this time?
94 was Speed. Yeah.
Yeah, and Keanu blew up. So you probably wanted Keanu, but Kate, at that point, you can't afford Keanu. He's a speed. You can't afford Keanu.
No. Point Break
but
changed his career.
Yeah. So who if you can't get Keanu, you look around, and we have to believe that Anthony and this woman is around the same age, which it's hard to believe that. With
No, when I
Anthony.
see her, I still see teenage vibes. You know, just because of the time frame. I know what film she was doing around that time. She still was playing a teenager, so I can't help but see her still 18, 19 years old. He looks like he's almost 27, 28.
Yeah, during this time.
Yeah.
She by the way, she's still working. She's in what's that show? It's like the Killing Show or something like, I don't know what it's called. So I think it's on Stars. It's like where the students disappear in a flight. They come back years later, and something mysteriously happened to them while they're lost. I forgot what it's called, but anyway, she's on that show. Her and Christina Ricci, actually, they're both.
Oh, Ricci! I love me some Christina.
Yeah, it's a good little show. But I just can't remember the name of it. Anyway, ready to give you marks for this?
Yeah. Well, before we do, though, I know you said you weren't a big fan of her in this movie, Rita. But what did you think of the relationship between her and Steve?
I thought it was genuine. It felt like the one scene that I really thought today was really good when they when she was stuck in the elevator and they was trying to go and see about her. The phone was ringing, so they had to go answer the phone. Went back down, start doing all that, and then they forget about her, and they keep going on with their life until she says, "Hello, I'm here," and they're like, "Oh," but I thought that she was very cute as far as like in this movie and her relationship and the way that she felt for Steve Martin's character.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like, I thought she gave some love. She got some. I give her some props. I thought she did. She did good. I like Rita Wilson. Don't get me wrong. I like her. But I don't know. My most favorite, where I know her from the most is Jingle All the Way, I would say. But she's also in Runaway Bride, but you're not there for Rita Wilson. You're there for Julia Roberts.
And Richard. Can't forget Richard.
Richard Gere. That's like my favorite romantic comedy. Behind Notting Hill.
I gotta say, Pretty Woman still stands strong for me. I didn't understand that movie when I was a kid. I said, why's my aunt June, we called her Ella June, let me watch a movie about a rich guy getting with a prostitute? I was like, why is this happening? What I didn't understand at this point in time as a kid. I didn't understand what a prostitute was. So once I learned, it's like, why am I allowed to watch this? And why is it okay?
Andrew, Yellow Jackets. Thank you, Andrew. That's the name of the show.
Okay. Never seen it.
It's actually really good. I think first season might be free on Prime. I'm not sure. It was at one point. She, Rita Wilson, I think she gets props. She gets in the shadow of her more famous husband.
Well, I mean,
Tom.
It's Tom.
It is. But Rita, she always shows up in the stuff she's in.
Yeah,
I will give you that.
Yeah, I thought she was good in this movie. I liked her. I loved her and Steve together. I thought it was. I thought they were adorable. I really did. So, but I mean, I think.
Do you feel like this is an underrated type of Christmas movie?
Yeah, I actually do. I think it is underrated.
Okay.
Hello, Jackie.
He says hello. Hello. This is how Podcast Go live. Hello. But But anyway, you ready to do your marks for this movie?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna be genuine and generous. I'm gonna go 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. That's good. That's good. I'm going to match that with the same. I'm going to give 4 out of 5 as well. I thought that Steve was the glue for this movie, but
Yeah.
I think that every single actor that pops up in this movie shows up and and shows out. I think Madeline. Oh, Madeline died in '99. So we had a few more years with her after this. But Madeline Kahn, I just want to say she's like I most famously know her from History of the World and a lot of Mel Brooks movies. And then she's in Clue as well.
Yes. Okay. Now I know her. I love her in Clue.
Yeah. But hey, what in the world?
I don't know.
I don't know what they're saying.
It must be on our podcast on our Facebook page.
Yeah. I would respond to what you're saying, but also in case it will unlock some type of dark magic, I'm not going to repeat it because I've seen too many scary movies, sir. You're not going to get me. I'm sorry. Thank you for commenting though, but I don't know what you're saying. Maybe I don't know how. I can't translate it. Unfortunately, I don't have the capability of translating. Do you?
Oh, absolutely not. I have no control over here.
Let me see.
I'm just here.
I'm gonna attempt. Let me see.
Aaron's gonna find out what this is.
Yeah, I'm gonna attempt.
And he's still gonna regret it afterwards.
Google Translate.
Oh boy. Well,
text.
While you're translating, what is the pick for next week? It's your turn.
All right, next week.
I feel I know what it is, but maybe he'll surprise me.
I'm gonna go Die Hard.
I knew it.
You know what I was gonna do?
People, you want to know how I knew? Because he sends me this song about Die Hard being a Christmas movie earlier on Messenger. I was like, he's gonna pick Die Hard next week. I just knew it.
Well, you know what I was gonna do? I was gonna do
Lethal Weapon?
No.
First Blood?
I don't consider Lethal Weapon a Christmas movie.
But they're on Christmas. Same as Die Hard.
Die Hard has more things about it that makes you think it's Christmas. Anyway, but no, I was gonna do Preacher's Wife because I seen that you watch Bishop's Wife, so I did Preacher's Wife.
Is it streaming? Because I got rid of that movie. Because I did
you
not. Not compare. I watched it back to back with The Bishop's Wife, and I was like, this is not. It's just I didn't care for Denzel in the movie. I know it's sacrilegious to say you didn't care for Denzel, but I really didn't. Not after watching, The Bishop's Wife, how great. I think his name. The only movie I've ever seen him in is it Grant, Cary Grant.
Cary Grant.
Yeah, he was just excellent, and it's the only movie I've ever seen him in, though. But yeah. I didn't like Denzel's performance compared to him. And it's the only time I've ever put Denzel down, and I feel bad about it because to me, him and Tom Hanks are the best two actors I've ever seen. Well, maybe throw in Jimmy Stewart. I mean, I'm not, I have big love for Jimmy, but
I'm choosing Die Hard.
Okay, Die Hard it is. I hope it's streaming because I don't have it.
Let's see.
I think it is. I think it is though. I think
it's actually streaming on Disney Plus. Actually,
Die Hard. Maybe it's on Hulu. That's a Fox streaming
Die
service.
Hard is streaming on.
It's on something. I've seen it, but I just don't remember which it was.
Maybe it's not streaming. Hold up. If it's not, then I will make an audible and I'll choose something else. I can't think of what it would be right now. Let's see. I was thinking I'll come up with something.
You'll come up
We'll
with
watch.
something. All right.
But Brandon, what do we want the people to do?
Well, first, before we get to that, we have a comment. Andrea loved Two Hearts,
Oh.
so appreciate you recommending this.
Yeah, we do.
I really do, because I didn't like it the first time, and I really enjoyed it the second time. So I love going back and watching stuff I didn't like, and the second time I really enjoyed. So thank you for picking that for us. And what do I want us to do? Yes, click that like button, click that share button, subscribe.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that hard. It's not streaming.
It's not streaming. Okay.
Yeah, let me see. The Ref is a sarcastic, twisted Christmas movie as well. That's with Dennis Leary, I think, right?
And Kevin Pollak. I
Oh,
forget who the wife is of that movie, but pretty sure it's Kevin Pollak.
I'm gonna think about it. I have to come back. I gotta let Brandon know, Vincent, what we'll do. It'll work.
You sure it's not streaming?
It's not streaming.
They must have took it off. It was streaming last week.
It was streaming last week. Yeah, it was streaming last week. It was.
Yeah.
Now it's on Sling and stuff. So, but yeah, now I don't have Sling. I mean, I have the movies. Die Hard.
I mean, I don't, but you know.
But it's not that deep.
It's not that deep.
Blu-ray player. DVD player.
His Girl Friday.
Cary Grant, His Girl Friday.
I really liked him in The Bishop's Wife. I like that old Hollywood, though. I mean, I love going back in that time frame.
You know, my favorite little Cary Grant movie is let me find it. Cary Grant. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's the one where he's like he's with a lady and they're like traveling. Well, it's not Bringing Up Baby. Maybe it is Bringing Up Baby. Is it the one? I don't know if it's even Cary Grant, but it's like at one point I remember him like hitchhiking on the side of the road. It's the first movie where you see a man in a white beater, like in a white t-shirt, and that was like you didn't see it at the time, so that movie was the first one that did that. But I want to say it's Cary Grant though. I don't think it's Clark Gable. I could be confusing them, but I don't think it is. But I can't think of what it is. I can't think of the movie. But we had to watch it in film class, and I just don't remember. It could have been Bringing Up Baby, but no, I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Yeah. We watched so many movies in that class, I just don't remember what it is. But all right, well, thank you for watching. You have a good rest of your weekend. Stay safe, and be good humans.
What was that?
I was trying to think of something more classy to say, but I can't think of it. Be good humans. There you go.
Be good humans. Yeah.
Peace.